Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with another edition of Challenge Accepted. And this week, Shannon and I are taking on the Redefined Kreative Thursday night sketch. We've done this before, and this was from last Thursday night, and you'll be seeing this on this Thursday when a new sketch will have come out. But this was last week's sketch. To be honest, I've already done this sketch for the Secret Not Secret party this weekend. It's one of my favorite styles of scrapbook designs. It's so versatile, and there are so many ways that you can do this. It's a grid. It's a 3x3 grid where the squares are 3 inches wide or 3 inches square, and then this one has, in this particular version of it, there's this title block, journaling block that fills 2 spaces, and you've got some embellishments on this one, and some holes cut and a bow tied, and some embellishments down here, pattern papers, photos. So my first take on it this weekend, I actually did with only one photo, and I put my photo in because it was rectangular. I put it in the title block, and I filled the rest with pattern papers and embellishments. And just to kind of add a little interest, I did some doodling around the squares and kind of called it done. It was one of my favorite photos of the kids, an underwater photo. So this time, I'm actually going to have lots of photos. They'll actually be edits of the same photo. This is the original, and it will be on there. There will be 6 2x3 size photos, and then instead of a horizontal spot, I'm going to use, I've got all kinds of different edits. I'll run through the Pixma or Prisma editor on my phone. And this was my favorite, so I printed it the biggest, and it's going to go across 2 spaces. It's going to have a lot of embellishment around it to kind of highlight it. Let me put the sketch aside. Just to kind of test things, I've laid out the squares to kind of see where they're going to end up. Now I'm going to pick them up, and as you can see, I'm using a Vicki Boutin color kaleidoscope. In fact, everything is Vicki Boutin color kaleidoscope. So I've got this mixed media background, and I want to, not a lot of it is going to show. It's going to be kind of in between those green squares, but I didn't want quite as much contrast as I was seeing. So I've got this Vicki Boutin stencil. I'm going to quickly use some white texture paste. Not gonna be real particular about whether I fill in all the spots, and then we'll let this dry while I'm doing the rest. Gonna kind of get up here. The pink and the green may seem a little bit, and to be honest, I have no idea how this is going to turn out. It may seem a bit jarring when you just see it like that. Once I put the photos on, that'll kind of diminish the green. Let me stick this here and do some there. And then I'm going to use lots of pink embellishments, especially trying to highlight that raspberry pink color, because there's a little bit of the kind of peachy pink in this background, and that's not a color that I think is my favorite to go with the other colors. Okay, so that somewhat I don't know, I want to say obscures it a bit. So I'm putting it off to dry, and it should dry in a minute. John, can you take my stencil I have the most wonderful husband in the world, so he's watching television with the sound turned down so that I can make the video and tracking the hurricane. And he's my stencil washer. Okay, so done with texture paste and stencil, and almost done with that lamp. Let me now start assembling the little squares. And I'm going to do each one as if it's its own separate canvas. I've got, it's kind of like dealing cards here. I've got these because I didn't have as much of that paper. I think I'm going to lay this one kind of let that be in the middle there and let that one go there. One of the things that I've done off camera is highlight or ink the edges so that with this green, it is a summer field color ink. I think it came in a set, I believe, from Simon Says Stamp. And I bought it maybe, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. So I forget the brand name, and it's too small for me to read right now. So, okay, we'll put that there. I've got some photos that faced, when I printed them, I turned them facing left, and those are the ones that are going to go, or facing right, and those are the ones that are going to go on the left side. And I'm really just going to adhere the photos on kind of to one side, and I'm not going to measure or worry too much about how one looks up next to the other. Let me here make this one really simple, and I'll embellish that to start with one of these flowers. I fussy cut that from the reverse side of this, this green paper, which is why I didn't have as much of it. So that's a start on that one. My next one is this, and because that one kind of went off to the top, I'll put this one maybe a little more in the middle. I want it a little different, each one different, and I can embellish to maybe accentuate those differences, if you will. Let's go with something here. This particular edit has a lot of like red and dark blue. And so I may want to accentuate that with something yellow. There's a little yellow kind of in that. So I'm going to do a butterfly, and I'm really just going to adhere the body of the butterfly. I'll maybe point it this way and then lift up. So again, I'm doing kind of first passes at this. This one is actually the title block, and the title is this You Got This, and it's in reference, of course, to her battle against leukemia. So I'm going to center this. I kind of wanted the underlying color or the underlying square to be a little bit different from the photo squares. So I'm going to do that. And I debated whether to highlight this in green and decided against it. I just am not sure I could do all those curves without just on the outer edge without making getting some green here and kind of distracting from the very clear message that is giving off. And I do want to give it some dimension. So I'll put a piece of foam back here and adhere that so that it's got a little there. Okay, so that goes there, and I may do some embellishing around that. Now the next set of photos, one goes off, two of them, the top one and the bottom one, go off to the left. Let me put this one off a little up high because the one next to it goes low. And we'll pick I'm gonna go with something else that I fussy cut. I kind of like that. And if that goes off the top of the page, that's kind of okay because it won't be so far off the top of the page that it'll have a problem in the album. So let me do, I like that. The only doubt I have, actually, let me do that one down here because that flower next to that flower, just too much matchy-matchy. So, okay, I've got a bird, another butterfly. I have a bucket of embellishments here. Let me go through ones I have. I think I will use this one on the big photo, so I'm not going to use that now. Oh, this one's kind of cute, and it's a smaller scale. There's also a feather, some berries, some leaves. Let's just go with leaves. I like leaves for this top one. So we'll do that. Okay. And this top one is one that, again, I'm going to put up there. And we'll, because this one goes up now, it's going to overlap on this one, and that we'll kind of see if that's something we like. I was going to say because that other one went up, we'll put this one down, and I think I'll just kind of have it evenly heading over to the right, which gives me a chance to put maybe a small butterfly or something on top of it, or another embellishment that has some words on it. Okay, and this one is the one that is the original, and maybe because it's the original, I won't have it hanging off the side. I will I'll pop it up and kind of put it sort of in the middle. I'll maybe put it off a little bit at an angle, and it allows me to put some embellishments maybe here and here. Okay, so it's shaping up now. Now this one, well, first of all, let's do this one. We can see, and in case I did go through and use my distressing tool, which is in here somewhere. I used this to do all the edges. More for setting a casual mood to it. This was an awesome day that Ava spent. Labor Day, they went up the night before, and she spent the night at a cabin, and she went boating the next day, and here she's, in this photo, she's on her way to or from the boat. I don't know which. I actually wasn't there. So I'll put this one kind of off to the side there. And if I had it to do over again, I'd use those leaves there, but because there's some a nice purple, I may use these berries. Okay, I've got a fussy cut element here that has a magenta butterfly, and then and it has these kind of purple berries, magenta and purple berries. And I've got this, which is a die cut. This was fussy cut. This was a die cut that came with the collection. I'm gonna put that here and this there. I think that will work. That's maybe some of my secondary embellishing going on there. But this is going to, I think, come together fairly quickly. In fact, it's almost done. Okay, let that hang a little bit over like that, even realizing that it's going to, something's going to overlap something down in this area. So now I've got this, which is actually going to go in the center, and that's going to span those the space that 2 blocks would be. So I want to get it right on center there. And I will now go through, and I want to put foam behind all of these. Let me put that there. And this one needs to be supported above and below as, whoops, not that far. Okay, that one needs to be supported there and here. And all of these are going to end up being supported. I've got a lamp that is very sensitive to the touch here. Okay, so this is kind of how it's going to lay out. I'm going to pull the background forward and start kind of dry fitting these in to see what I thought I'd do is wait until I had these all kind of in place and to see what the background looks like, to see if there's anything more I need to add to cover anything up, or I think that one was up here and this was down here. Okay, so as you can see, not a lot of the background shows, but it does give kind of a nice mixed media look to it. So before I'm doing any more embellishing, I'm going to glue these in place, and they're all going to be on a foam background. So I'll start, I should have had my foam pieces ready cut, but it's not going to take too long because I'm not going to fret a lot about whether they're fully supported. The tall one I was, and I have a couple fairly small pieces here. So this one probably will. And let me put it down. I'm going to set the margin kind of equally top and side, and then I'll do something similar down here and over here, and then everything else will just kind of get spaced from there. So I'm going to do this here, kind of set this down. It's about the same. Again, I eyeball. There are some of you who cringe, I'm sure, and would want to measure this all, and I applaud you, but that's not me. Okay, here looks like even spacing there. And you can see the things kind of hanging off to the side, give you a little bit of variety. It doesn't give you such a straight grid, and I'm all for straight grids sometimes, but that's not what I was going for here. I'm gonna go here, kind of the same as that side, and then this one I can space. I may add a little more dimension to this if I decide this is what should overlap the berries over there, or I may go the other way and kind of pull the berries up over there. I think I like that. Okay, just got a low power message. That's the one setting I didn't really pay much attention to when I started. I do do not disturb in airplane mode to control interruptions from calls and texts and the sort, but and I check to make sure I haven't got alarms coming, because those have interrupted my videos before, as you may recall. And get this in place. Okay, now I can go back and find some larger embellishments. I haven't done anything on this little guy. I have a fussy cut flower here that can go up in this area. I think I'm going to use a dimensional dot for that, because I want it kind of overlapping the photo there. I want to use this bird, and I think it may be too large, so we're going to discard the bird. I have a very large butterfly, and then I have a little smaller butterfly. I like this feather. I think I'm going to use the feather here with the title block, because it kind of represents dreaming to me, and it's kind of a nice nice sentiment that our dream for her is that she's got it and everything's going to be good. Let me do, okay, there's a butterfly. Okay, I'm going to stop with those large embellishments, and let me come here to my chipboards. Here's a bird, and I'm going to do a bird right here. It's a chipboard bird, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to glue it, because it won't stay. I've got this little kind of kaleidoscope button that I'm going to add there. I'm going to put let's see if I have any stickers here. I think I saw one that I really liked somewhere on here. I liked the goofball one, the goofball kind of label there. That seemed perfect. And the that smile seems like it would work. maybe there. That breaks that line maybe more than it was meant to be broken. But I'm going to say that that's okay. Don't want that bird there. Now I feel like I need something a little bit different. Oh, the My Happy Place was good. Okay, that's good. Now I feel like I need something over here. Okay, that's good. I don't like it overlapping the green because I want the green to show. Let me kind of put that there. That adds that pink color there. Let me see if I can find something else that adds that color. Do I have anything here? Create the dream. I don't, but let me go back and pull this butterfly and maybe, yeah, let's do this butterfly. I have one that color already just right down below it, and I'm gonna say that's okay. And this yellow one is facing the same direction as that, and I want this one to face that way. Okay, I'm gonna call this done. It's certainly a grid, and it looks completely different from this one. I really like the stencil. That's a Vicky Boutin stencil that I used, and the texture shows through. It kind of gives you a sense that that's a homemade mixed media background, and I like it. So challenge accepted. I hope you like it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like and follow and subscribe and all of those wonderful things, and I'll see you out there. Bye.